Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're listening to this podcast. Welcome to the 10 Golden Rules of Internet Marketing for Law Firms podcast, coming to you live today from NTL National Trial Lawyers with an awesome guest, Dave Thomas, Mr. Dave, to everyone here at the conferences. One of the most well-known, exceptional personalities in the lawyer industry. Dave, welcome.
Jay, thanks for that humble but wonderful introduction, man. You're the best.
So true, right?
You're the best. You're the best. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we're here at National Trial Lawyers 2024, and I'm here with Jay, obviously from TGR. And man, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah. So we're going to cover a lot of topics today. Let's talk a little bit about Law Tigers, what it is, why folks should consider Law Tigers a good fit. We're going to talk about the live event you guys are doing in Savannah, Georgia. I'll be there. And we're going to talk about TGR Live, our 10 Golden Rules event in April 25th and 26th in Boca Raton, and you'll be there.
Yeah.
So let's start out. First, tell us a little bit about Dave and your background and how you came to Law Tigers.
Yeah. So I spent years in talent acquisition as an executive in business development within the healthcare arena. I spent about 17 years doing that, and I had a change of heart and I call it my second career. I found Law Tigers through an executive search firm, and it was it was a great marriage. They had a huge opportunity, and they wanted to really scale and grow and build, and we've done just that. I think I've been with Law Tigers about 6 years now, and when I joined, we were like in 7 markets, and I think we're close to 47 or 48 markets. So we've done some growing, and we definitely have some more opportunity to do so.
And what is Law Tigers for folks who haven't heard of it?
Yeah, so Law Tigers, we are a marketing firm that generate high-value motorcycle cases to personal injury firms across the country. We license our program. We have really a great team in place of marketers that really concentrate on traditional advertisement, digital, and grassroots. So that infinity marketing that's how we're able to generate these cases to firms stretched across the country. That's personal injury firms.
And thank you so much. We get to do some work with Law Tigers, and we get to work with Dave, and awesome client. And we had an unbelievable case study of our SEO success, but we'll save that for another day.
Yeah.
So who's a good fit? Like, who should be a Law Tiger, and what's a good size firm and a good market fit?
Man, that's a good question, a tough question, and the same. And the reason I say that is, if you're a personal injury firm and you're looking to diversify your practice within a niche, we know that there's riches and niches. I know, no pun intended. But if you can niche down into a target audience, which we've done I feel, an exceptional job over the last 24 years of really gaining the trust and likability of the writer audience, we're able to really grow personal injury practices in a meaningful way. So when you go back to the question of who's a good fit, if you're looking once again to grow, if you're really interested in serious injury cases, if you're a litigator that's ready to take on insurance companies, we're a great fit, and so I'd love to hear from you.
Our friend, our shared friend, Paul Hernandez,
Yeah,
is perhaps a good example.
Paul's a great guy.
Kalfas and Notchman, based in Virginia, and Paul's a Law Tiger. And one thing he told me is he stuck with it for 3-4 years, working with you guys to build the ground game, and building the ground game is a big part of Law Tigers, right?
100%. Paul owns Norfolk, Virginia, Maryland, DC, Delaware. He's one of our strongest and greatest advocates, and you're right. He understands marketing. He understands that it's not going to, like spaghetti thrown against the wall and hopefully that it stick. You have to be committed, right? You have to be committed. But what you're referring to, we have a strong component, which is grassroots. I would argue to say that we're probably one of the best at doing it around the country. And what we've done is we really designed this model for writers to really focus on the writing community. And so our market managers, he or she, they go around town in the community, winning friends and influencing people. They call on dealership, parts stores, tow companies, and they're at different association rallies. It's really the glue to what we do.
Biker bars, build relationships, right?
100%.
And they're at the rallies and the bike and the charity poker run, and the riders. Generally, you hire a in-market manager. I was lucky early in my career. Actually, my first full-time job was with an ad agency, and we worked with McDonald's restaurants. And then I moved to the head office of McDonald's, and I worked. Actually, my office was right next to a guy some of you might have heard of. And this is a true story. The next office to me was Ronald McDonald. And Ronald McDonald used to organize, the whole Ronald McDonald program, they called it, where, Hamburglar and all the other characters could go out to like local fairs and new store openings, and store anniversaries. And of course, if it was a really big, like the town parade or something, Ronald McDonald himself would make an appearance.
Wow.
And, I think for the way I explain Law Tigers, I don't know if I ever told you this
Oh,
to folks, is like, it's a little bit like McDonald's. So let's say you're an attorney in town and you own a steak restaurant and you want to diversify and maybe you get a franchise. So you get a pizza place or like McDonald's.
sure.
And McDonald's got Ronald McDonald and you guys have tanked the Tiger.
Yeah,
But,
we do. We have a
But
bunch
you know,
of
it's very similar marketing model, right? Like McDonald's had great, what I call ground game.
Yes.
They called it CRRs, community relations representatives. They were at the local fair. They were at the local church picnic.
Yeah.
They were, at the ribbon cutting for the other businesses. And like I said, the big events, Ronald McDonald himself would be there. And you guys do the same thing. You're at every, motorcycle.
Yeah,
event.
it's a very authentic approach, Jay. It's majority of us are riders ourselves. It's no gimmick. We're not photoshopping ourselves against bikes. You don't have to, if you're an attorney firm, there's a misconception. You don't have to be a rider to join Law Tigers. In fact, we do all the blocking and tackling for you. That's why that market manager that we're referencing, he or she is a rider. They're the face of your program. So credibility goes through the roof as soon as we join in partnership. McDonald's is a great
I
representation. I love that comparison. That's pretty cool. I would also,
you can use that, please.
I will. I also think
I'll
of, like,
introduce you to Ronald. Too. He's still my. He's
well,
my
you know,
link-
my name is
my
Dave
LinkedIn
Thomas,
buddy.
and I have
That's
a,
right.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Wendy's guy.
You're a Wendy's guy. That's right.
Just
Um,
joking. So yeah, our program is even more so similar to like a Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out, because we know what we do, we know what we're good at, and we stay in that box, and we don't kind of move out of it. It's like that's all we focus on is motorcycle cases. So we have an incredible niche, and yeah, it's a fun practice, and motorcycle clients are some of the most loyal clients. As a personal injury, they're so grateful that you can see past some of the misconceptions about them. And so it's just a great way to grow your practice, but also to help out what I always refer to as a kind of a fragmented, underserved group.
And we've worked together for 4 or 5 years now. And every time I meet one of my buddies or, a networking guy who's a motorcycle rider, I ask them if they know Law Tigers.
Yeah.
And it's like 99% brand awareness.
Love to hear
And I don't even think you're advertising in Boca Raton where I live. So, you guys have a great, again, I call it ground game. You call it community
Grassroots.
relations,
Yeah.
grassroots.
Yeah.
And I think it's the big events where you really stand out. Sturgis, Daytona.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about your role of marketing at the big events.
Yeah. So we're at Daytona. We're some of the largest events across the continent. Sturgis, we're one of the largest marketers at Sturgis, man.
And for people who don't know, Sturgis is the world's biggest bike rally.
That is correct.
Sturgis, South Dakota.
In the
right?
Dakotas, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. How
And
many
so-
people do they get? How big is the town on a regular weekend?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't want to.
Like 10,000, 20,000 people.
Very small.
And how many people go to Sturgis for the bike
Oh
rally?
man, it's thousands.
Another
yeah,
10, 20,000.
yeah, it's thousands.
And so you all have a big presence there. What do you do at
yeah,
Sturgis to build the Law Tigers brand?
yeah. Well, we support a lot of the rides that's there. We know we're in partnership with a lot of the local businesses. We set up our own campgrounds. It's like one big party, to be honest with you. But it's really, if you're an enthusiast or rider enthusiast, it's the place to be. Like once again, it's no fake to what we do. Like we love riders. We watch over our own, and at the core of what we do is, this was created by a rider for a rider that happened to be an attorney. We want to have the best representation for this particular group, right? But we also want to have attorneys that care about them, and what I mean by that is, not just trying to make money, a quick buck, but really want to, get them back on the road, get them back in the best shape, but also, have a great experience in the process of dealing with. So that's what it's all about. It's all about building a positive moment of truth with the riding community, and they call us right away when they go down on the bike. And so what we're able to do is partner with law firms and inject that into their firm. And I don't brag on some of the results, but we're doing some phenomenal things around the country. We're like in 32 states, and we're still looking for a few more good firms. So especially here in the state of Florida, great opportunities.
Yeah, that's right. The South Florida market. I know you've had some dance partners, and
Yeah,
you almost got them to the
almost,
almost
man.
got them to the ball.
Yeah.
So this would be a great market. And the markets where people ride all year round are obviously better than the northern markets, right?
Well, that's interesting because the riding season, the length of it, and the weather don't really justify our program.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, if you're a rider, you're going to ride. If your season's only 2 or 3 months, you're going to ride during that season. And what really justifies our program is how many injuries and fatalities are involved in
market.
accident in that market. Unfortunately.
Yeah, sadly, that's
Yeah, and
the
so
business we're in.
yeah, it's the business that we're in. And so if it happens in 3 months or 6 months, that number is that number. Obviously we need good, strong attorneys that's willing to step up to the plate and take care of these riders.
Well,
So
and the other thing is
yeah.
riders ride, right? Like I have an associate in Minneapolis, and he takes a ride with his buddies a couple times a year.
Yeah,
So they'll go to California for a couple weeks, and he'll go somewhere else, Texas, Arizona, Florida, and do a ride. So even though the season's short in Minneapolis,
great
the,
point.
the rider's going to load their bikes up. I understand there's a lot of services. You put the bikes on a truck, you fly, and the guy who drove them down meets you there.
No, if you're a rider, the cold weather is not going to stop you. Snow is not going to stop you. You're right, Jay. They're going to go to a place where they can ride. The nice thing about our program, it's an exclusive membership, and we actually design it by territory. So if you're a part of our program, it goes directly tied to the rider's zip code, right? Or where they live. And so if they do take their bike and go out to sunny Arizona and unfortunately get in an accident, then that case would be routed back to that colder climate state. So yeah, it's really tied to the rider.
And what are some of the marketing tips? Like, this is essentially 10 Golden Rules Internet Marketing for Law Firms podcast.
I love it.
What are some of the marketing tips you picked up that work best for some of the firms you all work with?
Yeah, so
not necessarily Law Tigers specifically.
yeah. So marketing tips, I believe in diversifying your marketing, right? A lot of folks, they may say, I'm going to try digital, I'm going to try traditional, I'm going to try grassroots. But to be honest with you, Jay, I mean, if you can, balance your marketing efforts, because synergistically they all support one another. It's a shame if I'm going to invest money into digital or traditional advertisement, but not connect with my community, right? Because they're receiving you in a transactional manner. I always tell marketers, you want to take 10 transactional and throw it out the window. Everything that you do, your marketing should be relational. It should speak and evoke emotional connection to your audience. And I always say this too, Jay. I know this is kind of a silly statement, but marketing is like a first date, right? That first date. If you talk all about yourself on the first date, there won't be a second one. And that's the same thing with marketing, So make it less about you and more about your audience. And that's my greatest tip that I can give.
I thought you were using a different analogy where a lot of people say, on the first date, you can't try and go right to the wedding or the wedding night. You gotta pace yourself a little bit when you first meet a client in sales.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of business development stuff together. Broaden it out to like businesses and law firms. You're one of the as I mentioned, one of the most beloved characters in the legal marketing
I
space.
appreciate that.
But you build relationships. Like, what are 2 or 3 business development tips that you could parlay for the legal community and lawyers themselves?
Yeah, so it's when you think of your business, most folks think of how they can get immediate return on their investment part-time. But what about like children's hospitals? What about there's charities that need your support? They're directly tied to individuals that may be your customer or client one day. So step out of the rim of your area. It may not even be legal, but just, everything is on a good spirit and
But is
making
that
a difference.
is that how you become like Dave? Like you're involved in your local hospital and communities. How do you become Dave at conferences? Like, what's your?
That's it. So even at these conferences, most folks, they're just looking to speak with attorneys and hopefully that they'll buy their product or services. I look at it different. I don't look actually to come here to sell anything. I just look to establish relationships, open up a relationship with you, and find out what's important to you. And also what's most important are folks like you and I, 10 Golden Rules, Law Tigers. I see many other vendors here. Those are influencers and connectors. they're just as important as attorneys are to me, because those influencers or connectors are going to introduce me to my potential client, and also going to add credibility and say, hey, the nice things you're saying about me right now, they're going to reach.
Yeah, everyone's going to come to their agencies. What do you think of this law tech?
Yeah. So
I better know your game. Otherwise,
that's it.
We're trusted consultants, fortunately.
That's it.
For our clients.
Yeah.
Now, a couple great events coming up we want to touch on.
Yeah.
First one, 10 Golden Rules Live. No, first let's talk.
I love that one.
We'll go with the calendar first. So the first one coming up is the Law Tigers event in Savannah, Georgia. And you guys are in partnership with National Trial Lawyers. You got some awesome speakers already lined up.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this event.
Well, so this event is taking place March 4th through the 7th in Savannah, Georgia.
2024.
2024.
You're watching this sometime in 2025. Hopefully there'll be a second annual. But
there will be.
The first annual.
There will. First annual. And now this is not just a Law Tigers event. It's not a selling event. It is put on by National Trial Lawyers. Yes, National Trial Lawyers and Law Tigers co-presented. We're going to have some great content, some of the best speakers. We're going to focus on some of these things, on how to get more of these cases into your firm, how to better serve the clients, and also how to try these cases. So when you come to our event, you're not just going to come and just be part of a party. You're going to walk away better. You're going to walk away with some golden nuggets that you're going to be able to take back to your firm and help elevate and grow. That's what it's all about.
Why Savannah, Georgia? Anything fun going on?
Oh man, so it's at the JW Marriott Water District. So this place is one of the most sought after hotels to stay at. So they have like 14 restaurants. They have ghost stores.
Nice.
I'm not too much into ghost stores. I'm a big kind of like, hey, hide behind guy.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
tough and rough. I'm tough and rough. But
what position did you play in football?
I used to play defensive end, man. So I can swim.
By the way, this is a real. This dude is a big dude. No. I'm a big dude. I'm a baby compared to Big Dave.
No, but there are going to be some fun things to do. Boat cruises. So yeah. So bring your families. And come and enjoy two great days of great content, and to become better as a lawyer, as an attorney, as a litigator.
Well,
I'd love to see you there.
I'm looking forward to that one. You guys, we've been to the Law Tigers member event, but this is an NTL motorcycle event.
Yes.
And then April 25th and 26th in Boca, we're doing TGR Live. We haven't done an event since before COVID, so we're very excited. It's called Growth Strategies for Law Firms is the theme of the event. We're going to do AI in the morning. We've got Dr. Kane Elliott is the AI futurist for Filevine, and Justin Lovely. He's an attorney in South Carolina who does amazing things with AI in his firm. We're going to do some incredible marketing stuff in the afternoon. We're going to do the business of law and niche law in the morning. Now, Dave said it, there's riches in the niches.
Yes.
So Dave's going to be moderating a panel, and we're going to have yourself. We're going to have a brain injury specialist and a trucking specialist.
Awesome.
So what does that mean, riches in the niches?
Well, niching down, no matter what industry you serve, your client, they don't want the supermarket of like, for example, in the legal industry, they don't want a supermarket of legal services. They want that industry expert. They want like if you hurt your knee, you don't want to go to like a family medicine doc, right? Because they're going to give you some meds and get you to a specialist. So that's what
an orthopedic specialist.
Yeah. So when you're niching down, that's what you're doing. You're saying, hey, I am the go-to firm when it comes to your needs. And the cool thing is you spend less money because you can actually really target all of your marketing efforts towards a specific audience. So you get more with less, but also you're able to really grow in a meaningful way and help out a specific group.
Have you ever had a God wink?
A God wink?
Yeah.
No, you have to show me.
You have. I know you have. Because you're a man. I know you're a man of God.
Yes, so
I had a God. I call it a God wink now. And I met a guy, and he had an internet marketing agency, like we did, but he only focused on one niche, franchises. And I said, man, it's hard enough to do this business, with all the niches. How do you do that? He said, well, it's great because you get really good at franchises, and then all the franchises refer us, and we get more work from the other franchises. Then I met these guys who built a product called eBuilder, and it's software. And I met them, and they were telling me the story of two brothers, and the one brother convinced the other brother, we got to focus on a niche, and this software is only for construction projects, only in one industry, in the hospitality industry. And they sold the business for $360 million.
Wow.
Still the biggest tech success story here in South Florida. We call it Silicon Beach. And then I met my buddy Josh Nelson from Seven Figure Agency, and he built his plumbing business only focusing on plumbers, and he's a digital marketing agency for plumbers, and they now have 180 plumbers they work with.
Wow.
And it's a multi-million-dollar agency. So I looked at it. Okay, this one guy only focuses on niches of franchises. These guys built software to $360 million, only focusing on one industry. And the third guy only focused on plumbers. So that's what I call my God wink, because I'm like, okay, I get it. 3 times in a row. And we decided to focus only on lawyers. And since we've only focused on the one niche, there's a lot of benefits that came with it that I didn't realize. First of all, I know what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
Right? Like, I'm not supposed to be at the affiliate summit anymore or search engine strategies. I'm supposed to be at National Trial Lawyers, the Motorcycle Summit,
Yeah.
TGR Live, like at the lawyer conferences. Number 2, our team's super focused. Like, all we do is we focus on Google and the 4 parts of Google. Do you know the 4 parts of Google?
I do not.
Number 1, local service ads, right at the top of Google.
Yep.
Number 2, Google Maps. Number 3, SEO. Number 4, pay-per-click.
Oh yeah.
And when I say there's
I think
4
I'm
parts,
familiar with those.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody knows, but I like to differentiate because there's actually, 4 different specialties in our team. We have different specialists who focus on each of those 4 areas.
Oh wow.
And, that's the majority of what we do. And that's a lot. But in the old, before, when we tried to do every industry, we had to do Facebook and Amazon stores and, e-commerce and affiliates.
Yes.
Now we're focused on lawyers. We're focused on the 4 parts of Google. And, and the 5th part is actually YouTube.
Yeah, and that's great. That's why I love working with TGR, man. It's like, so I've been working with TGR, I think, 2 years now, and they're the secret sauce behind my business development push at Law Tigers. And not only that you, and I'm just speaking directly to you, man, you have an exceptional team in place.
Thank you.
But you guys are very knowledgeable about what you do and very intentional, and very up to date on changing trends within the industry. And I tell you guys, I'm speaking to you guys out there. This guy is one of the smartest guys I know. Hey, I may not know everything. I'm pretty sharp in different areas, but I like to keep smarter guys around me. And so I'm not letting this guy go, man.
Dave and my mom, they both agree. Awesome. So, we wrap up with just a couple things on the 10 Golden Rules podcast. And we've had some great people over the years answer these questions.
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk, Tim Westergren, founder of Pandora. Craig Newmark, the founder of Craigslist. So you're
very cool.
You're on a great line of greatness. Tell us, what technology tools do you use for personal productivity, or any apps you use?
Yeah. So, for in-house purposes, we use HubSpot. We do a lot out of HubSpot sequences. A lot of our B2B infinity marketing comes out of HubSpot.
HubSpot's a beast.
It's a beast, man. You can do almost anything. That's one. And then obviously Salesforce on the sales side, very, very great for pipeline management, CRMs. And then, as far as, the social, I mean, you gotta have your foot in the social game. I live on LinkedIn, Instagram, some stuff, Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Dave sells B2B. So LinkedIn's your I call it the social media for adults, right?
I love it, man.
Give us some LinkedIn strategies. What's your average LinkedIn week look like?
Yeah, so I kind of do motivational Mondays, wisdom Wednesdays. I like to
publishing content.
Yeah, publishing content, thoughtful leadership content. And also I like to highlight things like this, like what we're doing. And also publish a monthly newsletter that goes out, some different articles.
And you connect with people on LinkedIn.
100%. Yeah. And it's.
And do you consciously, will you go back with every business card from the show and connect on LinkedIn?
100%. I think it's very, it's a disservice to take someone's time. Time is precious, right? Return on time, and take their information and not give them the courtesy of a follow-up. And so many people do that. I've seen people take cards, and as soon as that person walk away, they'll bend that thing up and drop it. I'm like, come on, just say that.
And you know what? That guy's he's not at the show next year either.
No.
They're one and done.
Yeah.
The next question, you have any go-to podcasts, YouTubes? Who do you subscribe to? Who do you like? When it comes in your feed, you always want to watch it.
Yeah, man. Me, I'm a man of God, so I'm a Joe Osteen guy, man.
Nice.
Yeah, but I also do some who's my guy? Who's going to carry the boats and the logs? David Goggins, you know,
Oh,
he'll keep
Goggins.
you lined up a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But there's some other good guys, like, you know, I'll follow yourself on LinkedIn there.
Thank you.
I do a bunch of reading and things like that, and we both talked about traction. We're doing that within our companies.
Yeah, we're
So,
doing EOS,
yeah.
Entrepreneurial Operating System. Jan 24th, we got an awesome panel.
Yeah.
Mike Morris, Gerardo Escalona,
Oh, beautiful.
and myself, we're going to talk about EOS for law firms.
Yeah.
And if you missed it, I'm not sure when this podcast is coming out. You can find it on our YouTube channel with Dave, and we're up to about 300,000 views on that channel. It's
Yeah.
absolutely blown up. So please come on over to YouTube. You can find a lot of the great content. Last question.
Personal injury mastermind. Let's not forget about
Yeah,
their podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, they're super solid.
Yeah, you were on that. It was,
Yeah, I
it
was
a
on
great
that.
podcast.
It's a great podcast. I'm actually going to be doing their show this year in Scottsdale, Arizona, PimCon. It's going to be a phenomenal time. It's going to be a rock star time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris does a great job.
Chris Dreyer, great job. Definitely tune into his podcast.
And last question: how do people find you?
Find me. Hey, you can find me a number of ways. You can find me on LinkedIn, David L. Thomas, comma MBA, but also you can find me at Dave, DAVE at lawtigers.com. And I love to hear from you. I'm all about making people better, and I love to get better myself. So reach out. And if you're a personal injury law firm, you're looking to diversify your practice within the motorcycle niche, I'm your guy. Give us a call. I'll let you know our availability, and hey, let's see if we can make something work.
Dave's awesome. You guys, I don't have to tell you now if you watch this long. So Dave, thank you very much for doing this. My
Hey
friend.
man, thanks for having
Always
me.
great
Man.
to hang with you.
You're a good guy. Thank you. I appreciate it.